Peter had actually made a really good observation. He said, no, men aren't intimidated by you, boys are.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was one thing that has stuck with me ever since, which is now where I get that mentality. No, I'm not too much for some people. They're just too little for me.
Is going on, L&M family? We are back again with another awesome guest. She is the president at National Lien Services and RSC Preliminary Lien Services. And I gotta tell you, that sounds super fancy and official. Just watch out. You might want to turn the volume down a little bit because she's got my kind of energy, and we're going to be bringing her story is one of hard work, perseverance, and dedication, which I know the L&M family digs that sort of stuff. And the most compelling thing, the interesting thing that I picked up as I was stalking her LinkedIn profile was she is exactly where she's supposed to be, doing exactly what she's supposed to do, and in the space where she is supposed to support. And man, it's those kind of people that will light a fire in you. Her name is Miss Amy Houk, and we are going to get to know her just a little bit more. Now, if this is your first time here, you are listening to the Learnings and Missteps podcast, where you get a front row seat, behind the scenes seat, to see amazing human beings just like you, how they are sharing their gifts and talents to leave the industry better than they found it. I am Jesse, your selfish servant, and we about to get to know Miss Amy. Amy, how are you, sister?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. And thank you for such a kind opening. That was super sweet.
Oh, I mean, I'm not a liar. Wait, let me be straight. I'm a damn good liar. I'm just not lying right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We got to meet in Sedona. Then we got to hang out again in Chicago. And I know I'm not the only one, but meeting people that consistently show up with the same energy, with the same focus, it's the ultimate. With so many, fake wishy-washy people running their little agendas, that's okay, I get it. But with people that have the courage to just be them full selves all the time, Amy, it's a privilege. So I'm grateful to you that we're going to be hanging out here for a little bit.
Oh, well, thank you. And like we were discussing before we got on here, it can be a lot for people. A lot of people are, they ask you to tone it down a little bit. And here's the thing. I'm not too much for you. You're just too little for me.
Gangster, right out of the gate. I knew it. Oh, okay. I like to start with the very simple question. You ready for it?
Always.
What do you know about endangered desert whales?
Fascinating. Clearly, you read my bio on LinkedIn, sir. What I know is that they're no longer with us. They have successfully gone extinct. They were. I never know what to write in those things. I hate writing about myself. I'll leave that usually to Peter, my humble husband, who will write it for me because I'm horrible at writing about myself. I don't know what it is. It's kind of that weird, oh, you're just talking about. So I'll typically just be an ass. I'll just be a total ass about it. My LinkedIn post over the weekend, I was a total ass about it. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm writing about. I don't know who I am. I feel like I change every day. Sometimes every morning it is a different person. That's why Peter is humble. So I don't know what I'm getting today. I better just come in neutral and hope not to react to any kind of crazy she's got coming at me today.
Yeah, no, I did. I was doing the LinkedIn stuff. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I love it. And I totally picked up on the tone. And so here's the interesting thing is because I've been able to hang out with you, I'm reading, I'm like, oh, she's having fun. She's just putting stuff out there. But the truth, right? Because sure, intellectually, we know that being precise and clear about whatever we put on our damn profile, there's business value to that and la, 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 la. Mm-hmm. And even now with like all the GPTs and stuff, you could have used that to produce something that fits the mold. But when I was reading, I was like, this is Amy. Now I have the advantage of knowing you. This is totally Amy. I love it.
I found that I did, I find that what I'll do sometimes is when I write, I have a tendency, and I'm known in my family and some of my close friends, I like to write. I actually enjoy writing. And, I was raised in a time when Hooked on Phonics was a real thing, and it
Yeah.
encouraged us to do a lot of good writing. And so I like writing, but I also know that I have a tendency of going a little bit off course a bit. And so I think having those bumpers, sometimes AI be like, I think I might have bit a little bit too much off here than I can chew. Rein me in, baby. And it'll rein me in. It'll give me some suggestions. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to use that, but I see what you're wanting me to do there, and I'll make my edits. But for the most part, when I'm writing for me, it's going to be for me. If I'm writing for my companies, it'll be a little bit of me and a little bit more of the GPTs or the Claudes or I forbid, I don't want, if Josh watches this, which I would expect him to, but if Josh watches this
Yes.
and he hears about the GPT Claude wars, it's,
Oh,
I will use the GPT if I need to, Josh.
they're tools, man. It's funny from the construction context. I consume a lot of content, and I hear the case for Claude and for all the other things, right? And part of me is judging. Come on, y'all, get over it. It's a freaking app. Um,
Yeah.
but then I think about the DeWalt Milwaukee Ryobi discussion, which is, oh, that's serious. That's something serious.
Mm-hmm. And now we're
But at
talking
the
about
end of the
things
day,
that
they're
can,
all tools, man.
exactly, they're all tools. And if you've got a tool, and again, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If I want to accomplish, okay, if my brand is authenticity, that is what I try to bring to the table. If it's too much, that's not a me problem. I'm sorry, that's a you problem. But if you can't keep up with it, then maybe we're just not a good fit. And with my writing, they need to know what they're getting into. One of the biggest things that customers will have, not even customers, prospects, anyone will ask me how I am. That will be the first lesson of anyone's relationship with me, is I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly how I am. I'm going to tell you that my coffee wasn't right. I'm going to tell you that I woke up this morning and I just wasn't feeling it. I'm going to tell you that my back hurt
Mhm.
this morning. I'm going to tell you menopause sucks. I'm going to tell you whatever you want, whatever comes to mind. And what happens is immediately the defenses break down, and people are like, okay, God, I'm just going to talk to a human right now. I'm not talking to a business person. I'm not talking to a professional in any form, but I'm going to talk to someone who just wants to be honest and authentic. And,
Yes.
I think that's a lot. I think a lot, if your brand is authenticity, then you can only do good things. And I know that's getting really cheesy. I know that we actually talked about it when
Agreed.
we were in Chicago. People are like, oh, authenticity is
Right.
overdone. So what's the opposite to that? Fake. So, you
Right.
know,
Right.
you're exceptionally authentic, Jesse. My God. It's like, you're
Thank
one of the
you.
most authentic people I know. When I met you right off the bat, I was just like, this guy ain't holding anything back. He's just going to be who he is. He's not going to be fake. I'm not going to have to worry about whether he's being honest with me or not, because if I'm being a jerk, he's going to be like, you're a jerk. And I'll be like, oh God, that hurt. I don't want to be a jerk. I don't mind if I'm a lot of things, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be a jerk.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for that, Amy. And yeah, like it is, we get to pick who we surround ourselves with. And if the people that are going to contribute energy into my life, I want more. If you're going to take more energy than you give, you're on my dead to me list. Like I just stopped talking to you. You don't have to change your behavior. I'm just
Yeah.
going to limit access, period. Now, it was a long road to get there. I wasn't always like that. And so I'm curious, Amy, an underlying thing from this authenticity, right, is there's tremendous courage in that because you have to be okay with people not liking your flavor. And that's not easy. So I'm curious, like that courage of this is me, this is how I want to talk. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I'm doing. Is that something you were born with? Is something you developed over time? Because I know that there's a lot of L&M family members out there that struggle with that, right? Like they feel like they got to put on the professional hat, and then they got to put on the mom hat, and then they got to put on the friend hat, and it's man, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of hats. I found,
Yes.
I think it was developed. I will honestly say that when I turned 50 a year ago, so there, now everybody knows how old I am. It's fine. It's a gray hair is
Woo.
a giveaway anyway. But when I turned 50, it was funny because Peter knew this was coming. He's like, you're going to hit 50 and you're going to stop caring about a lot of stuff. And I hit 50 and I'm like, I don't care about most things. I'll be really honest, Jesse. I don't care about most things. I really don't. I just don't anymore.
Yeah.
I think it was a learned lesson. I wasn't necessarily born this way. However, I will give props. My biggest, and I say it in my LinkedIn bio, because the one person I give the most props to as far as this whole craziness is my mom. My mom was
Mm,
old school, ladies of the 80s. When I say it, see, now you can hear my bio because I'm going to say it because I know it because I wrote it with my fingers and my brain. But big old shoulder pads. Mom had the big hair. Mom was a chain smoker. My sister and I were slave labor because nobody cared back then. Nobody cared in the 80s that,
right.
you know, they were slave labor. They're like, oh, you just work for your mom. You're learning good work ethic. I'm like, I'm slave labor. She's paying me in pennies,
Right.
man, literal pennies, you know, for a whole summers because she was a freelance paralegal, which makes sense. So as
Okay.
I was raised adjacent to the law because she was a freelance paralegal back in the day. She had an office. She was just such a powerhouse. And I'm like, my God, my mom kicks ass. And my mom is too
Yeah.
much. My mom is too much for a lot of people. And a lot of people can't handle that, which is really unfortunate because the knowledge that's there, the experience that's there, the work ethic that's there is just second to none. So I got very fortunate
Right.
with having a mom that wasn't afraid to say no to people. And
Yeah.
I saw that. I didn't learn from that because, you know, I was a yes person for a really long time. I was like, oh, sure, I can
Sure.
do that. And I can do that. And I did it. And I was tired. I was overworked. I was undervalued. I, and I stopped doing that. And I stopped thinking about what
Uh,
actually brings me joy, what actually brings me happiness. Is it being fake for an hour or a minute or however long I need to so that person feels better? I'll do that, but at least I consciously know I'm doing it. I don't do it now out of habit. I do it now out of purpose. If I need to
mm,
mute myself, if I need to, so that someone else in that moment, because they need their authenticity also. So my doesn't override someone else's. I think that the point of being authentic is also having the cognizant awareness to say, I need to calm it down a bit because they need to have their authentic moment. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be quiet. It's not going to be friendly sometimes, but that's okay. And that's what's needed for them. And that's part of just understanding who you are and
yes.
what you're actually not giving up. You're just saying, okay, Cheryl, you clearly need the floor. Take the floor because
Right.
you're gonna take
Yep.
it anyway.
It is time for the L&M family member shout out. And this one goes to Mr. Chris Callen, who took the time not only to suffer through one of my trainings, in-person live sessions, but he also took the time to leave a little 5-star review on the Google reviews. And he says, great energy, tons of industry experience, and insane ability to make key concepts hit home to a wide variety of participants. And he's talking about me, just in case you didn't know. So, Chris, I super appreciate you, man, coming to the thing, being totally engaged, and then taking the time to leave a review. And for the rest of you, you know I love attention. All the stars, all the shares, all the comments, reviews, opinions, all of the above, they count. I love them. And when you take the time to do so, it gives me an excuse to celebrate you in a future episode. There's a couple of big things there, I think, especially for the younglings out there, because there was a period of time, a very long period of time in my life, where I was authentic, right? Before we started calling it that, right? They're just, I was real or whatever. But I was obnoxious about it. One, I was kind of blind to the fact that when I said some things, it hurt people's feelings. But I was also ignorant on purpose. Well, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just calling it like I see it. And I never left space for anybody else, right? I had to be the center of attention. And there's too many people, I'll say maybe it's a limiting behavior that feel like, well, this is how I am, this is who I am, accept me as I am, which I get. Now,
Sure.
if you're my direct report, you kind of you can run that play, but you're not gonna do well if you're not gonna adjust your behavior to perform the job, right? If you're, romantic interest, same thing. You can run the play, but you can't. It's not okay to expect me to just tolerate your crap. And I think that was kind of the maturity thing for me was, oh, wait a minute, I don't get to be that way and then get my feelings hurt because people are choosing to not spend time with me or not have me around, or I was offending people and I don't get to be upset with them. No, I was being offensive. And so
Yeah.
you've got that I don't know if you want to call it like awareness, maturity in terms of saying, okay, there is time. I don't have to be full blast, 100% full throttle, full volume all the time. I can pump the brakes and leave space for other people. So you talked about picking this up from your mom. You got to observe it and see her, the way she moved and all that, which I think is phenomenal. But that awareness of, okay, I can be me and still leave space for other people. How did you figure that out?
Well, I love my mom, and my mom will probably be watching this. But it was also just some of those times
Yeah.
where mom rode a little roughshod and seeing how that impacted other people. And not only, but it wasn't just mom, it was a lot of people, and seeing how people that I was close to in both my upbringing and in my youth, in seeing, well, I'm just going to be the center of attention no matter what you think. Well, okay, but that's really loud and it's really obnoxious. And there's a difference between being authentic and being obnoxious. I
Oh,
think that,
yes.
and because here's the thing, I can be both. I can definitely be obnoxious. And I was on the phone with my girlfriend last night, and we were talking about a girl trip we're taking in the next couple of weeks. And she said, well, if we go here, then we have to visit my mother-in-law. I happen to know that her mother-in-law thinks I'm too much. I'm like, but
Ah,
if we can go hang out with my mom, and she knows I'm too much because she made this.
right, right.
And you sit there and you think, God, I know that I'm too much for people. And how does that sit with me? Sometimes I sit back
Oh,
and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like the feeling of being too much for people. How could I have toned myself down? How could I have changed that first interaction with this individual so that they wouldn't have that opinion of me? And the funny thing is
wow.
I don't even know how to behave unauthentically anymore. I don't even know what I would have said. But with demure, that is not me. My God. Peter will throw something across the room if I was like, I'm just super demure. I like just people to just, have the no, but at the same time, that would be an adjective people wouldn't use. But at the same time, I think that there's space for that. It's all in learning.
Yes.
And I think if that you want to learn how to be authentic, if you want to learn how it's okay to be just you, how to master that, how to master your own voice and your own persona so that you can still be you, but you're
Yeah.
not obnoxious in that delivery. And even if you're a little obnoxious for some people, well, okay, well, then again, then you're just too little
It's
for me.
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. It's
Yeah.
not, somebody had told me, it was like, I had a friend, she claims to be a friend, she was a friend, but anyway, who had said to me, that the men are intimidated by you. She was talking about our husbands, the friend group. The men are
Ah,
intimidated. And I told my, I'm like, oh, okay, good, but okay. And I don't want people to be intimidated by me. I just don't want them to think they
right.
can mess with me. Don't mess with me. If you want to mess with me, I'll mess back. And I will mess back
Yes.
like I worked on a construction site, like I was a longshoreman, and I also trucked at the same time. Oh, I'll bring it. I'll bring
Yeah.
it. And then when you're in a puddle crying in a corner, then we're going to remember why. Why? You just
Yeah.
don't mess with it. I just don't mess with it. But
Yeah.
Peter had actually made a really good observation. He said, no, men aren't intimidated by you, boys are.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was one thing that has stuck with me ever since, which is now where I get that mentality. No, I'm not too much for some people. They're just too little for me. And that, I think, goes to relationship. But in situations, I have a voice when I train. I have a voice when I talk to my clients. I literally sent an email to prospects. They're prospects because they haven't engaged with us quite yet. And so they're still
Yeah.
prospects. And I had an email. I'm like, I haven't heard from him in a month. And the thing that I hate, my one email that I hate sending is hey, remember me? We had a good conversation.
Yeah.
You liked me because you literally said you're real. I like talking to you. You're real. I'm like, well, for now,
Yeah.
before I'm
Yeah.
uploaded into AI and I work on Mars for the rest of my life, it's fine. Thanks, Elon. Big ups. But when I sent an email to them, so finally I'm sitting there, I've been cringing about it for 10 days, 10 business days. I'm like,
Ooh.
how do I send this email so that I don't sound like that guy? And what I
Yep.
did was I drafted something. The last year we saw Simple Minds in concert. Now we're like on this big 80s tour revival concert going.
Okay.
We saw Simple Minds. And the Don't You Forget About Me. And I'm like, when I start writing, I listen to music a lot in my head. I'm listening to it right now, actually, in my
Got
head,
it.
not on the cameras, but in my head. Anyway. And so I'm like, how do I get them not to forget about me? And so I literally wrote, my subject line was Gen X reference in email. You want to read this? That was my subject line.
Nice.
Literally,
Yes.
I'll send you the email string. Gen X reference
Yes.
included in email. You want to read this? And I was just like, I was like sitting there thinking, don't forget about me. And I wrote this really completely no reason to have a barrier up, no reason not to reply, no reason not to be like, ugh, I don't want to tell, because on the other side, then you get cringe on the other side. Oh God, how do I tell them
Right.
I'm not ready? How do I tell them I'm not
Yep.
interested? How do I tell them my boss is gone or something, or I haven't brought it up, I
Right.
forgot
Right.
about you? How dare you, number one. But they then there's cringe on the other side. So I'm sitting here cringy. They don't want to receive the email, but then they do, and it's, now we're both cringing out on each side of the interwebs. And so I just break it down and just like, listen, okay, don't forget about me. And by the way, this is, I had to listen to this song and now you're going to have to listen to it too. And her response was, within 20 minutes, her response was, I haven't heard from her in a month. Her response was, oh my God, we were talking about you yesterday. Okay, this is great. Now I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. And my literal response to her and her partner was, I lived through the Macarena version 1. Don't tell me about having songs stuck in your head, okay? They're trying to bring it back now, which is just disgusting to me, but whatever.
I
And
agree. I agree. It's
and
just
now
like
now
leave that alone.
let's not there are some things that should never have been revived. I know that the newer generations are
Right.
all about living through our youth. You can't
Right.
have it.
Right.
You guys have cell
Not
phones
that
and
one.
proof of everything. We got nothing. Nobody knows what we were doing. My mom still believes my
Yeah.
lies. Love you, mom. But that's fine because there was no evidence
I
or
like it.
GPS on me anywhere. But I think having that authenticity, especially in how you communicate, is in email form is exceptionally important. The
Totally.
written word is very critical because if they meet you, even if they just talk to you and they know, okay, I know where she or he is coming from. I know what their tone is
Yep.
like. I know that they're jackasses a little bit. They're not going to take themselves
Yeah.
too seriously, but because I feel like all of my seriousness is reserved for what I do. So I have nothing
Sure.
else to spare. I have no spare to do that.
Right. Right.
But then they receive your email and you're like, I'm going to be a jackass in this email too. And it's like, I'll be a jackass back. And it's, oh my God, this is great. Peter and
Yeah.
I are in clients' wills. This is no joke. We are in clients' wills. We will get,
Really?
I'm dead serious. I will get ex-clients who have now, people who worked in offices who have now moved on to jobs and different careers and different trades and different entire industries who still send me pictures of grandbabies.
Oh wow.
I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I want to be friends too. I like being friendly. I don't like being an asshole because Jesse, once they get that side of
But you
you,
can, right? I have this conversation a lot with people. I am an advocate of being nice, support your people, make them feel heard, contribute, pour into their life.
yep,
That doesn't mean put up with their bullshit. And
exactly.
being able to drop the hammer when it's time to drop the hammer is a massive skill with super high value. So, yeah, girl, yeah, we're gonna play, we're gonna have fun, but when you wanna be stupid, I'm gonna let you know, like, that ain't how we play over here. And
Hmm.
there will be no confusion.
There would be no confusion, no conjecture. You're gonna exactly know that you fucked up, and it was bad. It was real bad because you
Yep,
made me
yep,
crazy. Don't make me crazy.
right.
I think that's my motto every morning when I wake up. It's like prayer. Thank you, Jesus, made it another day. Please don't make me crazy. World,
Yeah,
whoever is going to interact with me today, don't make me crazy. I don't want to be crazy. I'm too tired to be crazy.
yeah,
I got too many things going on to be crazy because then it just ruins your outlook on everything else. And that's my
sure.
fault. My problem is I think, and let me know if this is with you too, because I work so hard, because I'll say authenticity is my currency. Honesty is my currency. I will be
Yep,
honest. And it will not make friends sometimes. And it is not to be an ass. It is because if you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to assume you want the actual honest answer.
yep.
So I'm going to give you
Oh,
the
yeah.
actual honest, and I'll try to candy coat it. I'll package it up nicely. I'll origami that shit into something pretty. Okay. But what I will is I
Uh,
will deliver it. I will deliver
yeah,
the truth in a very purposely folded crane to your face. And, but at the same time, but that's also an art because if you're going to be cruel, then you have to go in with the intention of knowing, I never want to talk to this person again. Because here's the thing,
yep,
they have put me into a place where I don't want to be. They've made me uncomfortable. They've made me have to defend myself or someone else or
yep.
my work or my people or something. And if I have to defend, because I'll defend my team. Oh man,
Sure.
even if they're wrong, sometimes I'll be like, I'm going on them. I'll, and then I'll go back and be like, please
Yeah.
don't make me do that again. Let's just not, don't make
Right,
me do that
right.
again because I think they know I'm wrong. But it's not even really, it's a needle that has to be thread. It's a very fine needle or fine
Yeah.
thread that you have because you don't want people to say, yeah, she's too much of the wrong kind of too much. That's
Yeah.
in my face and talking about things she
Right.
has no idea what she's talking.
Overcompensating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I,
and guess what? People who want to fake that they're real, it's obvious you're faking, by the way. To actually people that
oh
are
yeah.
real, it's super, super obvious and it's sad. And then we
Yes.
want to help you by being more real. And then you can't handle what
Yeah.
it's like to actually be real because then it comes down. And I think that the problem that we have right now is, and I think the term gets used too much, is narcissism. I think it's getting
Oh
the
God.
term is getting really overworked. People who are truly
Yeah.
authentic can't be narcissists. I have narcissistic moments where I'm just like, I don't know, because I have a really visceral reaction to narcissists, real narcissists,
Right. Right.
real ones, because I think that people don't understand the difference between people who have narcissistic tendencies and actual
Right.
clinical narcissists, and
It's
they are my
very different.
kryptonite. They're my kryptonite.
Yes.
I want to befriend
Yeah.
narcissists for some reason. I have a slew
Oh
of best
really?
friends who are narcissists, and it's like, what is wrong with me?
Oh. Uh-huh.
I,
Well, if you look into the clinical, we'll say, signals of narcissists, a lot of that behavior, that mode of operation comes from pain, right? Like hurt people. And so maybe that's what it is. Because similarly, right, I get attracted to certain types of folks, and it's because there's some kind of damage or scar that they have that I recognize because I've had it too, and I want to
Mhm.
help. And so I got to be super careful of, ooh, okay, no, I need to back off because they may not want the help.
Well, and I think
And
this,
that's okay.
and I think really good narcissists claim they want the help. They will
Oh yeah,
take
they just to
that
keep the hook
energy.
in. Yep,
Yep, and they'll keep that
yep,
energy on you, and you think you're helping, and so your reward, people like us, our reward is that we're helping,
yes.
and that okay, I'm doing good, I'm helping, and then they know that if I keep that encouragement going, that they are, yes, you're helping me. I don't
They
know how
keep
I'd
getting
live
what
life
they want.
without you, exactly. Then and it's just
Yeah, yeah. No,
that
it's that's the thing, right? Is like being human is complicated, man.
being human
It's
sucks.
difficult. Yeah.
I just see my dogs
I don't know
sometimes, and they're
how
just
y'all
happy if
do
they're.
it. Like,
Well, I look at my dogs, and I'm like, they just want to be let out to pee. They want to be fed twice a day, and they want to be loved on. I'm like, sign me up.
yeah,
Sign me up. I just want to
yeah.
lay out. They're laying down right now, just laying down, doing nothing, watching me, thinking, well, this fool's
Chilling.
just talking all day. She's just
Yeah,
keeping me awake. And then I'm going to take them out to go to
that's
the
awesome.
bathroom in a little bit. I'm going to feed them later.
Yeah,
I'm going to pat their little heads. They're going to be like, cool, thanks. Pat my
all things
head,
are good.
feed me, and tell me I'm cute sometimes. I'm good. I'm
That's what
good.
I'm talking about.
I don't.
Well, so there's a couple of things that I want to simplify for the listener, right? You said one thing that I think we need to poke on. You said, I don't care.
Mm,
And I recognize that's not what you mean. How that comes across to me is you know precisely what you care about, which means all the other stuff is just bullshit, right? You're not going to spend much time on it because you know exactly what you care about and why you care about it.
mhm.
Now, from the external eye, it may look like you just don't care. Because I hear that, man, you just don't care. I'm like, okay, I know what I care about, and it's
Mhm.
a small number of things. And I just don't worry about the other bullshit. And so it can be perceived as not caring. I've just chosen to limit the things that I really care about. And I'm going to stand on that hill, period. And then in terms of, I think that's some of the authenticity, right? One of the recipes. The other is sharing the dirty details. There's no reason to hide. I get it. There is risk in sharing certain things with certain people. But I know just sharing the dirty details of my energy and how I think and what I stand for and what I stand against makes it very easy for people to decide, right? Do they want to hang around or not? And you're doing that. It's just how you roll. And you, my sister, are not too much for me. You're like just the right amount, girl. We having fun over here.
I'm looking forward to Nashville. Are you kidding? I'm already planning my outfits for
Oh my
Nashville.
God. Yes,
I
the
can't wait.
Converge. I think, was that the third or the fourth one? I
That'll be
think
the
it's the
fourth official
third.
one.
Yeah, because it was Savannah, Sedona, Chicago, and now Nashville. Man, I'm
Nashville.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna
really
we
excited.
get
I'm super excited.
Yeah, same. At the top of the call, I introduced you as the president, which is pretty fancy, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And I also, again, perusing through your LinkedIn profile, you get involved in a lot of things. And so, like, you're in lean services for the uninitiated. What is lean services? Lean, what is that?
Well, it's funny because the word in construction now has, in the last 10 years, has become now two things because there's LEAN and then
Yeah,
there's LIEN. So I
right.
do the lean stuff. So IEN for us. So what we do is we protect construction payments. So when you're on a job and you're in Texas, and Texas is like Mars when it comes to lien law, what we do, and I tell clients that I'm like, everything that you know about gravity, physics, common sense, alphabet, throw it out the window. You're in Texas now. It's like everything's bigger in Texas, including their lien statutes. So
Uh,
earlier too, is I'm where I wanted, I'm where I should be. I'm doing what I should be doing. I should do it for the people. I have been through, I don't know how many different iterations of career in my life. And
okay.
this is, and I've IT sales, telecommunications, uniform sales with a uniform. I've done just a little bit of everything. And I think what it came
Yep.
to is I enjoy helping people. And one thing that I do
Uh-huh.
and the president being like a formal term, it's a title. I'm no bigger, smaller. My team is far more valuable than I am. I am but a talking head, and I do trainings every so often, and I can draft some pretty gnarly emails when people piss my people off. And but my teams are really where it is. I would be completely decimated without the people that work with me and
Wow.
alongside me, not for me. Nobody works for me. If nobody, everybody works with me. Everybody works. We work alongside each other. We are shoulder to shoulder. It's now, to be fair, and I know that should certain people be watching this at some point, I know they do more than I do. I'm very aware that they do more than I do. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if they didn't do what they did. And everybody has their role, but we are
Sure.
all very symbiotic. So for me, it's a title because I have to put something somewhere. They're not just going to be like just cool chick. That's my title. It's cool
Right,
chick. That's what I do.
right.
I'm just a cool chick. When the shit hits the fan, somebody's got to go somewhere, and this is where they come.
Yeah.
And so I'll fire off my little email, and off to the races we go. But really, it's my partners. Peter is one of my business partners. My husband is one of my business partners. He and I, our relationship started in business and then evolved into relationships. So for us, business is very
Okay.
pivotal to our DNA as a relationship. And so will retirement be when we're gunning for it. I can see it. I can see it's right over there. I can almost touch it, but it's
Almost.
it's almost it's just a mirage. It's just flying away. But there's I like helping people. I know I said that before, but I like educating clients. I like educating people who aren't clients. I like educating.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
when I've been working on a whole new market. I can't even call it a marketing strategy, but a whole new marketing persona for the companies over the last 6 weeks. And it starts
Okay.
launching this month, which is why you're starting to see my LinkedIn actually starting to post more often. You're going to see me
All
actually
right.
posting now, like a grown up.
Yeah.
I think that was my converged promise to myself when I left, is I'm going to actually be more engaged on LinkedIn. I think I might have actually said that out loud. So I'm
Yeah.
doing it. And because holding yourself accountable, if you're going to be authentic, you also have to hold yourself accountable,
100%.
because nobody else is going to do it for you, because hey, I'm authentic, I know what I'm doing, I know who I am, I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. Well, then you have to hold yourself accountable. That accountability is now tenfold what it
Yes.
would be for someone who's just going to kind of wear a million hats and change who they are. The chameleon syndrome, right?
Yep.
I'm just
Yep.
going to change who I am. But I like to educate, and so I like to make sure that that the industry, if leaving the industry better than I found it, here's how I can do it. If one person who's not a client can take something that I've instructed and said, I do
Yeah.
things differently now, and it saved me money, and it saved me time, or it saved me the headache of having to go before the boss because I didn't know something,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm done. Then as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. And I really think that having that facilitator mindset, that educator, that helper, that servant to the industry mindset
Yeah.
has really maybe that's what president means to me, is I'm a servant to the industry and to my people,
Ooh.
because it's not
Love
about
that.
me. It's about the
Right.
people
Right.
that I work with and the people that I work for. And that's really it.
Yeah.
Because that's what a good president should do, is think about the people that they serve as opposed to the people that serve them.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so you've gotten super active on the LinkedIn. You're an educator, facilitator, you a resource, trusted resource. What are some of the things that you're going to be that you put in front of people, those nuggets in terms, I'm assuming you're going to be educating them on liens and best practices around that sort of thing. Yeah,
I
so are you
do a
going to
lot
be
of
doing like workshops or what's the sneak peek? What's the early release
the
what do you
early
call them?
release.
Commercial, the previews. What's the
My
preview? Let's say it like
previews. My previews. So what's going to be coming differently is I will be hosting a live webinar every month, and it's going to be. It's not even. I don't know if it's going to be a webinar or me just talking into a camera. Maybe I'll have somebody on. Maybe you can come on. It's not really going to be much of a
that. Okay.
podcast. It's just going to be more of like a here is a live thing. Here's what we're talking about. That is having a payment issue. This is the most common issue I've had. I think for me, it's more than just payments. I like to mitigate risk. It's because I worked with an attorney. I've worked with several attorneys through my career, and
Okay.
there's one attorney who I doubt he'll watch this. I'll have to send it to him and make him watch it because I'm not going to say his name, but he's going to know it's him. Who
Right,
taught
right.
me about how bad risk is. And this was over the last 10 years. He says, risk is the biggest problem in construction. It's not about payment. It's not everything else. It stems from the nucleus, and that
The
nucleus
risk.
being the risk.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't assess
Mm-hmm.
the risk. They didn't understand the risk. And what they didn't respect the risk, because you have to
Ooh.
respect the risk. It's more than just looking at it. But, oh, I knew it was there. You got to respect that sucker, because guess what's going to bite you back in the ass? That thing that you acknowledged, you looked at it and you ignored. Respecting and working towards closing the risk gap. That's what I love doing. I love identifying risk and saying, look, I have a solution. I have something you can do. I have a person that can help you draft your contracts better. I've got a contract specialist. I have a surety that can help you with that. That looks scary. You need to work with
Wow.
somebody to get that fixed. There's just,
Yeah.
I'm never the smartest person in the room. I never want to be the smartest person in the room. If
Of
you know the
course.
saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I like it. I'm sure you probably could tell. I'm one of those people that see risk as it's like an amusement park to me. Oh, that looks like fun. It doesn't signal red alert, stop, pause. The respect the risk thing is nope, it's the other way around. Let's go jump into that. Why? Because it's risky.
Yeah. Now, if we're talking natural disasters, no, my ass will be the first one in the
Right.
car being forest fired. Let's go see it. I want to go see a forest fire. Oh, flood?
Yes.
Let's go. That risk is completely different. We're talking about business risk, Jesse. Business
Right.
risk is not personal risk. Will I put myself in harm's way? Ooh, I got some stories. I've got some stories.
I
I got some
bet.
stories with my mom. Oh yeah, with my
Yeah.
mother actually. Yeah, yeah. Some of my riskiest stories
Oh,
are probably
fun.
with my mom. Yeah, that's because
Nice.
we're cattle. I come from a cattle ranching family. I should probably have started with that, which
Okay.
is where a lot of my work ethic, a lot of my comes from.
Yep. Yep.
There's six generations. My family settled as were granted a Spanish land grant back in the day, way back in the day before Arizona was a state, and we're still down there. And my mom and my
Wow.
brother, they both work the ranch. Peter and I are actually going to be building down on the ranch and going back to help
Okay.
once this business cannot require me to be driving around so much and doing so many things. And so you learn a lot being raised on an old school on you want construction old school gentlemen mostly,
Hmm.
like I know very much the old school mentality in construction, well, old school mentality with ranchers on the Mexican border. We're on the border. We are literally on the
Oh,
border. Yeah, so your views growing up are a little bit different than maybe the mainstream
well,
media would like you to believe.
sure.
Um, but it was very unique. I feel exceptionally fortunate to have been given the opportunity to be raised in that environment, to be raised around exceptionally hardworking people, to
Yep.
have the role model of my grandfather, my mom, especially out on the ranch, my uncles, and to really show you how
Yeah.
you put something before your own personal safety, like the benefit of the
Hmm.
ranch, the livelihood of the family. So you get
Yep.
that becomes ingrained in you. So now the livelihood of my team is what drives me. It's not the livelihood of my
That's
company. My
primary.
companies are fine. It's about my people. I want the people to feel secure that I'm doing my job so that their job is secure. And that I can, if I continue to do my job, which is build the brands, build the business, get some exposure, get some value, then they have security, they have job security, and then I can hire people for them so that they can have
Yep.
people to help them. And that's my goal, because I'm fine. I want for nothing, I need for nothing. I'm very happy in my life. I'm very content with what I have and what I don't have. And I think that's a distinction. It's not only what you have, it's what you don't have, and be appreciative for what you don't have.
Amen. Oh, there's a guy I know I met in the rooms, the 12-step rooms, and he would
Hmm.
always say that I'm grateful for everything that I have and everything that I don't. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Grateful for everything that you don't have? And 'cause, like, it didn't make sense to me, right? And he says, well,
Hmm.
Jess, here's what I don't have. I don't have an ankle monitor anymore. I don't have a suspended license. I don't have to worry about going to sleep in an 8 by 6 room every night. I said, oh, got it. Got it. Understood, my friend.
Um,
I got a lot
and
to be grateful for what I do and what I don't have.
and I
I
think when
love
you
it.
look at people, that are going through struggles, I'm very grateful I don't have that same struggle. I'm very
Sure.
grateful that and if they do have a struggle, then I'm more grateful that I can help that person through that struggle, whether it's someone on the
Right.
street, or it's someone that I know, or it's someone that I don't know, or whatever it might be. I think that my desire to help will
Yeah.
sometimes get me in trouble, which is why you see, wow, you like to do a lot of things. Yeah, I'll be an executive director of a subcontractor association for 3 years that I have no business doing, because a friend of mine was the president and he really wanted my help. And I said no to him. And if he watches this, I said no to you. I said no to you 3 or 4 times before I said yes.
And you still
Um,
did it.
and I still did it for 3 years. I
I
told
love
myself,
it.
and I was still running the Lean companies and had a team and did that, and
Yep.
golf tournaments, and I was still volunteering. We were members of
Oh,
associations where I was either a chairperson, a co-chair, or a very active participant on multiple committees of multiple associations. I was on the
right.
executive board of the Minority Contractors of Arizona, which was a very rewarding
Nice.
part of my career. The people that I worked with there, I still work with today, exceptional people.
Yeah.
There,
Yep.
I have met some of the best people in the industry, and I've met some of the worst people in the industry. And I think that,
Yeah.
that you take that nugget and you apply it to what you want your DNA to be. Because here's the thing. You are
Yes.
not stagnant. You are not a static individual. Exactly. I like that. I'm going to take that. Jesse
Yep.
straight up will dance in every training he does. There will be a dance lesson in every training the man does. And so every post I have about this man will have a dancing people by it, because he dances. And you know what? That's freaking great, because it breaks down that tension. It shows that you're authentic. It shows
Yep.
that I am willing to put myself out there. I'm not just expecting you to sit out there and shake your butt. I'm going to do it first. I'll shake my butt.
Yes.
And now you feel,
Yes.
because look, if I'm willing to do it, then you should do it. And I think that's one of the things that, as a leader, that is important. Again, I struggle with that because I don't feel like I lead anybody. I don't. That it's just such a presumptive term. I don't treat anybody the way that I wouldn't want to be treated. Period.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
I'm going to say you are a leader, right? And I think I try to keep it simple. Is there's all this crap about leadership and la la la. And I'm like, look, it's two things. It's very simple. Number one, do you have followers? Yes or no? If you don't have followers, you're not quite a leader yet. But more importantly, do you have a freaking direction? If you don't have a direction and you have people following you, you ain't leading them nowhere. You're running in circles and you're headed off the cliff. If you have a direction and people are happy to be around you while you're headed on that direction, guess what? You're a leader. And then you can add layers and layers of complexity to that afterwards. But what do you think about that?
I think you're right. I know you're right. It's one of those things that I struggle with, which is ironic, isn't it? Ironic, because it's like, I'm fine with, I attended training years and years ago. Again, one of my lifetimes. When I was working at a tech company, software company, they had us in the sales training, and this guy was a rancher up, I think, in Montana or Idaho. Guy was a rancher, super, and he did
Oh,
sales
wow.
training, which was very interesting. But he had this
It is
saying,
interesting.
and it stuck with me, because, and he had his mentality, his motto is alpha dog. I'm the alpha dog. I don't care if you like me, because I like me enough for the both of
Okay.
us. Okay, all right. I like it, Cletus.
I
I
like
like it.
that.
I like it a lot. But at the same time, that means I also, if you're going to take that mentality and really that is your mentality, that is who you are, your core DNA, then you have to be very comfortable with people telling you, I'm glad you like you enough for you because nobody else does. You still have to be loyal.
Yeah.
Your authenticity should, I'm not an,
Yes.
I can't be a douche and be like, this is my authenticity. I am authentically a douchebag.
Right.
Nobody wants to be around that
Yeah.
person. And maybe that's fine because guess what? There are people like that.
Right.
There are people like
Yep.
that that are like, I will be
Yep.
as abrasive as I can be because I don't want people to be in my sphere. And those are people that were hurt really bad for a really long time.
If you are a leader in construction, I need you to listen up, like for real, for real. There's a group of like minded leaders coming together to share their experience and their knowledge, form like deep connections with other top notch leaders in the industry, and become better leaders themselves. All of this for the purpose of leaving the construction industry better than we found it. And guess what? You are invited. So find the link or drop community in the chat so we can get you hooked up with the Construction Leadership Lab. Totally. Totally. And again, from my perspective, that is not, again, picking apart this the idea of being authentic. If I'm hurt and scared and fearful and insecure, the best way for me to be authentic is to say that. I
Yeah.
am scared. I am insecure. Your energy, this is how it's impacting me. Not the
Yeah.
opposite, right? The opposite, like you said earlier, we can read it. The people out there that are running real game, they know you're pretending. We know you remember this one, posers? We
Oh,
know a
yeah.
poser when we see a poser.
Oh, yeah. Well, we
Right?
recognized posers when we were young, too.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
You
Oh,
you do.
totally.
And the saddest thing is they try so hard to be something they're not. When just
Correct.
being
And
who they are is good
just,
enough.
that's it. Yes, they're
It
enough.
is.
And so let's say that again. You are enough. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
at the table, it's because you're wanted there. You don't need to prove or impress, just contribute. That's it. And if you're scared,
Yeah.
say you're scared. If you don't know, say you don't know. Just keep it as simple as you possibly can. And the reason, I want to be clear, I'm saying this not as, hey, I studied and I understand. It's because I used to play that game where I was
Mm-hmm.
overcompensating and pretending and posturing, and it was all performative bullshit. I lived that life and it sucked. It wasn't fun. I found myself, here's the risk, because we like risk, right?
Yes.
When I pretend to be something other than who I am, when I suppress who I am, when I'm like playing that game, wearing the mask, I end up finding myself surrounded by people I don't really like. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because they were attracted to that lesser version of myself than that I've been putting out. When
Mm.
I started giving myself permission to be as much of me as I possibly can, guess what? I end up having freaking podcast interviews with you, Miss Amy. It works. It's freaking working.
It does. Well, and thank you. And I get to be invited to people like in your podcast like yours, which is also super amazing for me because I've been
Yeah.
following you for a long time. And I've been reading about you for a long time. I'm not a big commenter. We know this. I'm not a commenter. I will stop
It's
being the
okay.
person that just listens. I'll start dialing in. But you know,
Nice.
it's there is a big authenticity required there's a responsibility that comes with it. Just and I talked about
Yes,
it earlier,
totally,
just because you're
totally.
authentic does not mean that you go walk down the street and you know your neighbors are doing something completely unhinged and you walk over to them and be like, I think what you're doing is unhinged. That is your opinion. That is my opinion. I think with that level of authenticity, I think it
Yes.
also means that I am authentic to myself, what I house within the few feet around me, the things that I control, the things that actually impact me.
Yeah.
If they want to paint their house lime green and I got to stare at it for the next 20 years until they move, well, then I guess I have to put up more trees, or I have to learn to love lime green, or I'm going to have to find a way to joke about it, about making, the margarita house. I'm like, if I just squeeze that house out, I'd have all the margaritas. It's not lime green, at least not yet, but it wouldn't be something I would not put past them. But
Right, right.
it doesn't give you carte blanche to go out and be a complete asshole.
Right.
Authenticity is a tremendous responsibility to ensure that you are not being offensive, because that's not okay, that you're not being hurtful
Right.
unless you're being challenged and somebody is asking you a question, and how to deliver honest messaging. I almost find it
Oh,
as that's my challenge though, but I appreciate the challenge because I've learned now when somebody asks me a question that I'm gonna be very challenged with how honestly I need to answer this question. Then it teaches me how to answer the question going forward. And I have a quick short story. So about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, I had a huge falling out with someone my last narcissist. And I say that because first she was the last one in a sequence of narcissists, but she's also my last one because now I know, because now I'm mature enough to recognize the
yeah.
signs, see what was happening, and adjust. But there was a mutual friend in the mix.
Yeah.
And in my time
Ah,
with this woman who I thought was my best friend, there were some things that were said about this mutual friend. And I
okay.
knew that when the fallout would happen, I had a choice to make. And the choice was I need to reach out to a very small few handful of people and say, listen, there was a falling out. And if you'd like to know the truth from my perspective, please reach out. I had 3 people
Yeah.
reach out and one person that I followed up with. The 2 other people, I'm like, you're fine. You're just looking for gossip, and I'm not here for that. Um, and that one
The
person that I
cheese
reached
man.
out, oh yeah, they wanted the cheese man. I'm like, I'm here to listen to the cheese man. I'll eventually give you the cheese man, but I'm not going to be a chismosa. That's not going to start,
Yeah.
not today. But I had to sit down with her, and it was one of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my whole life, because I had to sit down with her and I said,
Ooh,
because she wanted to know what happened, and I think that and she deserved to know what happened. I sat down with her, and before I said anything, I said, listen, before we move on, I need to be completely honest with you. There were things that I said, there were things that I did, and I need to be honest with you and tell you what those were.
yeah.
And I
Here's my
had to do it.
contribution.
Oh
Yes.
man, and it
Yes.
sucked. It sucked because she is a lovely individual. She didn't deserve any of it. And I apologized for my
Mm-hmm.
ignorance. I
Mm-hmm.
apologized for my arrogance in my comments. And I
Mm-hmm.
told her that the only thing that I can do is be honest with her. And I was honest with her. I was painfully honest with her. And it broke my heart to
Good.
watch the delivery of that, because I realized that my
Oh
words
yeah.
had power. And I realized that in my relationships with other people, I'm still responsible for how other people adjacent to that relationship are going to be in that friend situation where you think everything is
Sure.
sacred. And it wasn't about trying to pit her against this, that, and the other. I don't, whatever. And I told her, when I opened, I said, what you do with this information is completely up to you, and I will respect what you do with it all day. And she was very gracious, and she had her own things that she needed to ask questions on and figure out. And I was like, hey, look,
Yeah.
if you want a friendship, I'm here for it. If you don't, I understand, and that is my bad because of
Completely.
the way that I was. And
Yeah.
now she and I are planning a girl trip in the next couple of weeks to go to.
Nice. Okay.
and,
Good.
and I just think that was and it wasn't because it's, I'm missing a friend. I have a friend gap I need to fill. I got a best friend, and this fool sitting over here. But I really like. She's a nice, authentic, pure person. She's just, what you see is what you get. And I didn't realize that the
Yeah.
narcissist I was dealing with was giving me everything that she thought I wanted her to be. And so I think by dealing with and living
Mm-hmm.
through the narcissistic relationships, I now understand my role in being gaslit, in being I was a very active participant in
Yeah.
it, because I wanted to help. I wanted to make her feel good. I wanted to make her feel seen and heard and loved, and all of these things that her big bad husband wasn't doing. Which, the things that I learned, Jesse,
Yeah.
would make your skin crawl. Skin would crawl off of your body
Oh,
and
I
into the
believe it.
flames.
Yeah.
Whew.
No, I
But
believe it. We do some crazy stuff as as human beings.
we
We
do,
are
and
capable of enormous, miraculous, beautiful things, and we are capable of wicked, soul-sucking, low, dirty things. The whole gambit.
yeah, and
How
it's
do I know? Because I done them.
oh yeah, and if you haven't done them, you've been adjacent to it too. And I've had, oh my God, the list of things that I've done that I'm not proud of is long,
Oh yeah,
long.
same,
And
same.
do I feel like now my authenticity and being kind and being a facilitator is penance for that? No, it's lessons from that. I learned.
Yes. Lessons, not
Gotta
penance, lessons all day,
lessons.
every day.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So I got one question before we go to the Grand Slam closing question.
My God, ready.
This idea about authenticity, of course, you're super intense, deep, real energy, I'm sure is getting people like, man, I want to show up like that. I want to have fun just being me. And they're stuck, right? They're stuck playing the game. They're stuck in the what if. I'm not sure. What advice or recommendations do you have for them?
Start slow and start with a safe
Mm.
space. I would start with someone that is a safe person
Ooh.
to start with your authenticity. Start,
Ooh.
yeah, start with a family member, start with a close friend, start with a spouse or partner, somebody that you can start testing your authenticity with and being a little bit more honest, because authenticity means you're being dishonest. So now you have to be honest with
Yeah.
your emotions. You have to be very clear with your communication, and there's some lessons there. So I would say start small, start with a safe place, and be
Yeah.
willing to hear. You can't do this fake. Right? You can't do this fake. It's like asking God for forgiveness. Right? If you look, there's only one person that's going to know whether you're actually looking for forgiveness or not, and it's going to be God. It's not going to be the person that you just wronged. Right? At the end of the day, He's going to be like, "Yep,
Right.
you," and it has to do. It's funny because Peter and I actually had this conversation last night about forgiveness and the Bible and whatnot, and forgiveness isn't words. I'm sorry are not words. They happen to actually spell word. Okay, they are words. I'm not an idiot, but it's action. It's
Right.
action. So
Yes.
lessons and I'm sorry is in actions. And if you're going to be open enough to learn, you have to be vulnerable enough to feel pain, to learn from the pain,
Mm.
and to change. That is what you really,
Yes.
it's an internal mental, it's a mindset within yourself. You have to be able to say and not care. I don't care if somebody doesn't. I care that they dislike me. Do I care enough to change? No, I just care enough not to be around them anymore if that's how they feel. Or if I am in a situation
Yes.
where they're there,
Yes.
all right, I'll go ahead and calm my crazy down a little bit to be around a certain person if that person's coming to the party, and it's okay. I need to be respectful, because
Right.
at the same time, authenticity comes with respect. All of the things that you're supposed
Yes.
to be authentic. It comes with respect. It comes with honesty. It comes with openness. It comes with vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable.
Yep.
And you
Yep.
can't attack the person who's being honest with you, because if you're going to ask for honesty, be ready to get it and be ready to hear something
Be ready,
cringy,
baby.
because it could be super cringy, and I didn't mean that. I didn't. That's not
Yeah.
exactly what maybe I meant a little bit of it, but I didn't mean all of it. It's a humbling experience. But I
I
would say
like the
also
sweet stuff.
is the number one thing that you need to have if you're going to be authentic is you have to be humble.
Yes. And be ready to be humbled.
Oh yeah, part of it, because you'll be humbled real
Yeah.
quick, really quick.
Yeah.
Because this journey is not easy. It is a lifelong lesson. It is something that you will do for the rest of your life, so that when you get to a point
Amen.
where I have adult children, I have three lovely, beautiful grandchildren, and a grand dog. So that way, if they listen to this, I recognize Milo is a living human being to you. God, I have to respect the Milo. But be ready for people to not be happy with you sometimes, and not necessarily to say, well, it is what it is and F off. That's not okay.
Right.
If the relationship is important to you, then through your authenticity, you can learn to be humble, appreciative, apologetic, and respectful of that person's boundary, whatever that boundary was that you crossed. Because
Yeah.
let's be honest, you're only offending people because you crossed a boundary that they had, whether it had to do with how you communicate with them, words that you say, actions that you do. That's what it is. And that's your boundaries respected, then you have to respect other people's boundaries first.
Just demonstrate the behaviors you seek. Oh my God. I love it. And I'm going to repeat it one more time because it's powerful. Simple, but powerful. Start small.
Mhm.
Start in a safe place, right? With somebody that you trust, that you admire, that you know is going to be careful and gentle with the new steps that you're taking. Massive. Because I didn't do it that way. I bet you knew that already. I just said, screw it. I'm doing it. I freaking wrote a book with all my garbage in it, right? Like, yeah, let's try
I'm
this.
reading it. I actually have it on my. I don't know. Look at where it is. It's either at my desk or it's sitting by my nightstand. But I'm reading. I've been reading it. It's one of my nightly reads. I'll go through a few different things and look for some
Awesome.
nuggets. So yeah, I've got it. I got your book. Everybody should have Jesse's
Thank
book.
you. That's so awesome. I love it. Okay. Well, I'm excited. You ready for the Grand Slam question?
Man, I don't know. Yes. No.
Yeah, you're ready.
Yes.
And I'm super jazzed about your response because
Okay.
100%, right? Your authenticity, the maturity, the responsibility, the stewardship that you have demonstrated in the way you value and honor yourself, all of that makes me say, ooh, man, this answer is going to be good. So here you go. Here's the question.
Ready.
What is the promise you are intended to be?
The promise I'm intended to be. That's a loaded question. My God. I feel like you should have sent this to me in email before because it's going to have a lot of dead space.
No, that's
Dead air.
cheating.
The promise that I intend to be. The promise is that I intend to be open. I intend to be open. I am not going to close myself down to criticism, critique, advice, direction, redirection. I promise to be open to definitely criticism is definitely one of the big parts you have to be open to because it will hurt and you have to but it will be better. It's feedback. It's all about the feedback loop. So that's my promise. My promise
Yep.
is to be open to myself.
Wow. It's not a lot of words, but there's so much depth to that. Amen. I love it. Oh, Miss Amy. Did you have fun?
I had a great time. This is awesome. I almost feel like, why am I not doing this every month? Because I can't. Because you need to have an audience. They don't want to listen to me ramble.
Right.
This was so much fun. And I am so thankful for you reaching out, for hitting me up, for encouraging me to be vulnerable, be open, be out there. Not just to talk about business, but to talk about the people behind the business. I think that's just so important
Yeah.
to understand who you're working with, why you want to work with people. I am not for everyone. I am not for everyone. And that's okay because you
Yes.
and neither are they. And I think that people that have that in that, well, I'm in everybody likes me. No, right there. No, they don't. Because people don't
No.
like people that think that. Okay, right off the
Yeah.
bat, I think that you need to be some humbled. Somebody going about to humble you, and it's going to hurt
Yeah.
because you're nobody. Not for instance, like everybody loves you. No, they don't. A lot of people say that about like my sister.
No.
Everybody loves my sister. No, everybody loves me. No, they
False.
don't. False. Okay, I can love them, but no, it comes with a lot too. It's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot, but it is also the most rewarding journey you will ever be on. If you look at it as a journey, it is not a destination. It is a journey.
Yes.
Being humble, being authentic, being real, being knowing how to communicate, knowing when to say certain things and when not to say certain things. It's fun. It can be fun.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of winning over someone who doesn't like you. It's like the best coup ever. Love it.
When they
That's
just
my
finally
body.
come around and
They're like, oh, she's not that bad after all. Told you. I told you. And now I get to do the I told you so, which people seem to think I do a lot. That's another thing. If you want to be authentic, you don't get to say I told you so. You never rub it
ooh.
in people's face when you are
Mm,
right. You accept it when they say,
mm-hmm.
oh, you were right. And be like, okay, and move on from it. Now, quietly, you might be high-fiving yourself, freaking, patting yourself on the back and be like, I knew it. That is for
Yeah.
you. That is not for the person that just had to admit that they were wrong, admit that you were
Right.
right, and trust that you weren't going to be an asshole about it.
Yes. Be
I had to
gracious.
learn
Be
that. Yeah, I had to
gracious.
learn. I learned that the hard way.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one. I was right. Well, not all the time.
Okay, so where do we send people? They say, you know what? I need me some more Amy. I got some lean risk stuff that I want some help with. Where do we send them?
They can go to my LinkedIn, which I'm sure will be
Okay.
linked on the podcast. Just go to my
Oh
LinkedIn and
yeah.
direct message me. They can go to my websites. I have nationalleanservices.com and I have rcsleans.com. You can find me there, but I'm always on LinkedIn. I am an open book. Oh, and I just started a TikTok. I'm going to have my first little baby. TikTok will be on Friday. It's not going to be crazy. It's a risk
I
recap
love
thing.
it.
It's not super fancy yet because I do plan on being the complete ass when I'm walking job sites sometimes because it's like, what are we doing? Because guess what? Even a lean professional can look on a job site and be like, "Oh my God, that guy's not
Disaster.
going to get
Yeah.
paid. He's not going to get paid. I guess he's not going to get paid on this project."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be coming soon.
Awesome. Well, we will keep an eye, and for sure, we'll make sure we have all of the links in the description so y'all can connect with Miss Amy. Before you go, I want to thank you for spending part of your day with me. Your time and attention mean a ton, and it's because of listeners like you that this podcast even exists. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe to the Learnings and Missteps podcast so you never miss an episode, and you get extra credit if you share it with your friends. Also, if you want even more insights on leadership, personal growth, communication, all those fancy magical things, you can sign up for my newsletter on LinkedIn, because I got a newsletter that goes out every single Monday. All the resources I share there are designed to help you put yourself first so that you can leave this world better than you found it. There's also a digital copy of my book, Becoming the Promise You're Intended to Be. And it's sitting there waiting for you on my website. All you got to do is do the click and do the download, and you get the free PDF. And if you want even more bonus points, share that PDF with somebody you know, or the family of somebody you know that is currently struggling with self-destructive behavior. That would be the ultimate gift for me. While you're there, do some exploring of the trainings, workshops, and services that are designed to enhance your performance at home and at work. Just click the link in the show notes to check it out. Thanks again for listening. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace!